So back in high school, I used to participate in dance competitions, and we do this thing called recovery. Hi, my name is Tina Lita, and today we're going to talk about how to never make a speaking mistake again. So what is recovery? Recovery is when you're doing your dance routine, for example. So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but if at some point you made a mistake, right? So you go out of line, right? So something you made a misstep, or you didn't finish your turn, or whatever it is. Recovery is when you make it seem like it was part of the routine. You make it seem like it's part of the dance. Essentially, you improv until you get back in line again. The reason why we do that is because in dance competition, the more seamless it seems, the more points you get. When we practice going to a competition, we go from start to finish. That's before we go on the floor and present our dance. So we do our dance routine, and from leaving. At any given point, if there's a mistake or something happens, you can't stop and say, oh, or like, oh, sorry. You have to pretend like this is showtime and recover, and how you recover and how you make up even a dance routine to go back into what the choreography is. That is what's going to give you the most points in a dance competition. And that's really much like life, right? If you see life as a dance competition, and I don't like to think about us competing against each other, but at the end of the day, we have things that we need to do, and things can throw us off. The reason why I'm talking about this is because when we talk, let's say I'm talking to the camera right now, the way I talk to the camera, I might make mistakes. Now, granted, I have editing, so I can edit out certain things. But even while I'm talking and I make a mistake, I don't say, oops, sorry, and stop, and then go back and say, okay, let me start again, and then start again. So number one key thing is that we should never apologize. Never apologize. If we fumble on our words, if we say the wrong word, right, which happens to me a lot, or maybe there was something that we said that, oh, wait, actually, that's not true. It's actually this. So then the question becomes, is this a mistake? Or is this something that just naturally became part of the speech and naturally became a part of the sentence and conversation? I think it's really up to us to decide while we're talking. So for example, I might say something like, I really like chai tea. Oh, wait, sorry. Chai tea is not the same thing as chai tea latte. I meant to say, I really like chai tea lattes, right? So that's a long way of saying, oh, I made a mistake. It's not chai tea, it's chai tea latte. Here's another way of saying the same exact thing and the same exact mistake. I really like chai tea. I meant chai tea lattes.
There is another way to make a mistake and make it a little bit of a charming and likable quality, but this is not what we're talking about here.
It's like I'm fumbling over, I'm very unsure, not the most confident person. The other one, I don't apologize, and I just simply correct the mistake. Right? I simply correct the mistake. I don't say sorry. I don't explain why I did this and that, but I simply correct myself. And then that's it. I just leave it alone. And so this is something that I personally struggle with, and I try to do it in my speech, but the concept is very much so the same with the dance competition of back in the day, where you don't acknowledge your mistake. You don't go to the judge and go, oh, sorry, and go turn to your team and say, oh, sorry for that mistake, right? You don't utter the word sorry. You don't show any type of way in your body language that you're sorry or that you acknowledge making a mistake at all. Instead, you ignore the fact that you made a mistake and you just change accordingly. So whether it is improving for that second in order to get back in line, or just straight up going back into line, right? But you never apologize for your mistake, and you keep on moving on. If you're gonna take on the challenge of the recovery technique, then please comment below recovery, and just be cognizant throughout the week. And if you want to take on an extra challenge, I would challenge you to record yourself on camera. Just talk about whatever, and eventually you might make a mistake in whatever you're maybe saying, or maybe you fumbled on your words, and then don't say sorry. You can pause as long as you want and go on into the story or the sentence that you were already talking about. I think that's a great way of doing it. And then of course you can look back on the replay to see your recording and see how that played out, right? See how that looks and see how you react when you do make a mistake. Is there something there? Do you feel like you need to be perfect all the time? So what is that, right? So that's something that's very interesting to do. If you're gonna take on the challenge, again, comment below recovery and subscribe. Hit that bell button, hit that like button if you like today's content, and I will see you on the next video.